I immediately spot Amicus as the door slides open. Door slides open. Boom. Incorrect number of door implied. As I see the wolf jolt up from leaning back against the edge of the pool before quickly leaning back again, raising a paw casually.
Oh, he's trying to pose. He's like, oh yeah, no, I definitely wasn't waiting for you. I was just chilling, you know. I
love the characterization here. Yeah, he's trying so hard to look cool and be in a specific sexy position as he waited, but he was so startled. He's here. Oh wait, I was doing a thing.
He's posing sexily, but his tail's like wag, wag, wag.
Like I was gonna say, it's the exact like wagging tail thing with dog characters where they can't have any kind of pretense about anything. It's like the honesty that they can't hide. I walk through the steamy air to stand behind Amicus, next to the bench, and he looks back at me with a gentle smile. Soak with me? I nod wordlessly and slip out of my robes and underwear before walking to the edge of the pool. With a little hop, I dip in quietly all at once, mostly used to the scalding temperature at this point. As I come up, Amicus reaches out to me and I press up next to him, fitting against the curve of his chest in that familiar, easy way. How was the meeting with the Triumvirates? Good. Lots of seemingly pointless talk and etiquette, but as you and I know, it's necessary. As long as there aren't any riots. Yes, as long as there aren't any of those. We sit in the hot water for a while, and I enjoy the walk, the way it makes my worries seem so far away, locked behind the doors to the bath. I should do this more often. But, of course, it's the main thing on Amicus's mind right now. He clears his throat nervously. How did thinking about, did you make your No, sorry. Amicus trails off in the most awkward way possible, and I laugh a little bit, though it's more of a sad laugh. A little, but I don't think I have a choice. That any of us really have a choice. That's not true. You can choose. This is all meant to happen. It's the entire reason any of this happened at all. I have a purpose, and I don't know. I don't really want to cause delays, drag some other human into this, especially if it will help your empire in the end. Amicus grumbles. Well, I don't believe that you should be forced to take on duties that were thrust upon you without your consent. It's cruel, and I want you to choose what you feel is right. I give Amicus a look. Hasn't that been your whole life? Well, yes, but I'm talking about you. I smirk. Oh, I see. The silly, dumb ape who can't handle big boy responsibilities. Amicus's reaction to my teasing is instant and visceral. No, I would never... Sorry, I was just kidding. I shouldn't make fun about that. Amicus settles back again, and still looking concerned. It's all right. I just don't want you to ever feel that way again. Amicus sighs deeply. Also, I do believe we would have met somehow, even without the parents intervening. Yeah, but you're stupid. Yeah, I would have just magically met you on a random planet I've never heard of across the galaxy within our lifetimes. Good, that's a good guess, Amicus. Definitely. Although, was it Haps does have like this Amicus the Pizza Delivery Man universe, which I think might be... I don't know if the shirt is from that or not, with the Dragon Ball style or not. But there's a series of pictures you can find on his Twitter that are like in that style, and in those ones, him as a pizza delivery dude with his overly cluttered, messy room and shit, and like he lays a switch on the floor and it's gonna get stepped on. Amicus.
Oh, I do shit like that.
You can see little pictures of him and Marco in the background and stuff. You're like, oh, they know each other in this universe.
I mean, it just depends on if you're one of those two that subscribes to fate and all that. I'm not one of those because that sounds confining and scary,
No.
and I don't like it.
In this universe, fate is some dick that just makes things happen to you.
Yeah, I don't like that lack of agency. So I choose to not. I don't agree with it. But anyways, but it can be romantic. That's a one aspect of fate that is kind of positive, is you can use it to be a cute romantic boy like Amicus is being right here.
Yeah.
We would have found each other no matter what. It was meant to be. Like, that's cute. That's cute.
That doesn't make any sense, Amicus.
It does not, but it's cute.
Now I really give Amicus a look. Seriously? Of course. Something this special can't be stopped by the likes of time and space.
A lot of things have been stopped by the likes of time and space.
Yeah, most things.
Yeah.
Amicus starts pulling me into his body, nuzzling me. Anyway, I'm not completely sure yet. I need time to think about it, and we do have 9 months. Take your time, but if you do choose to go, you must promise me one thing. I feel a little apprehension at that. Yes? Well, 8 years is quite a while for a human lifespan, so I know you rejected them initially, but please start taking the life extension medication.
Yeah, I don't want you getting old and ugly and shriveled looking.
There is a formula especially for primates. I need you around for as long as I am, Marco.
Just start giving them to, like, an orangutan and just have an orangutan that lives forever. Oh, man. So what if it just becomes...
What was this tangent?
Sorry, I was just thinking about if you could have like an all-knowing, prophetic, godlike orangutan that's just been around for so long that it knows it has seen everything. There's something kind of magic about it. You just want to
create the Jungle Book guy.
No, especially not the one voiced by what's his face, Christopher Walken. That one scared me.
I realized then how well Amicus is taking this whole 8 years thing, and I have to wonder if he's just trying to make it sound less bad than it actually is. 8 years is a long time, whether you're a human or a wolf.
I need to get laid. I'm telling you.
I was gonna say we're presumably like 20-something.
Yes.
So 8 years is a fucking long time, right at this point in your life.
Amicus, you have to let him. You have to let me sleep around. Just for 8 years. I'll stop when you come back.
He's just gonna be, it's not the same. Marco's gonna be going to a lot of furry conventions.
Yeah. Okay. What if this made Marco a furry? He comes back to Earth and he is a furry now because of this experience.
We have no reason to think furries don't exist on his home universe, except for the fact that he hasn't mentioned them ever, which you think the thought would come to mind.
That would be the first thing you'd fucking say.
Yeah.
You saw Amicus.
It's like the idea that whenever there's a zombie in a story, you're almost always mysteriously in a setting where zombie fiction doesn't exist.
I've seen a couple where it does, and that's really interesting when that happens. And
yeah.
They're like, think these are zombies? It's like, oh yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, okay, well I guess you guys should know what to do then. Like,
well, we'll just skip these steps. I'd actually forgotten about the lifespan extending medication after Amicus had told me about it. For whatever reason, extending my life by decades, even hundreds of years, didn't really appeal to me at the time. Okay. What? But now, all I want is more time, so I nod. Of course.
I could use a few extra 100 years.
Yeah.
Just a few. I wouldn't want to live forever.
Activities.
Yeah, dude. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of movies to watch.
So much time and space for activities. And yet time seems to move faster than ever. Almost like we're gonna have like a montage. It's the weirdly happy song. This one's really vibey. It's just really relaxing. This is an Napster Bluke song. You just stare at your ceiling.
Yeah.
This is on top of the fact that 9 months is quite a few more days here on Adastra than it would be on Earth. Still, the days fly by, and I think it mostly has to do with my life not being in peril anymore. I'm not dreading a trial or fight that will determine my future. Now it's more of a slow burn that just blends together. Life in the palace becomes routine again. I have my own little schedule that involves gardening and watching certain programs on Adastran TV that I'd actually grown to tolerate. I start to study, using Calm as my teacher to learn as much as I can about Adastran and Galaxia's history. I even have enough time to start learning the language. apparently they never bothered to name their own language, which is a very Wolven thing to do. It's like calling your planet Earth. What a name. But I wonder about that. Was Earth a more original name at some point? Because in my brain, we named it after dirt. But is that the order that the things were named in, or is it or do they call Earth like the dirt Earth because it's of Earth?
You know, who collectively decided that we're gonna call this place Earth? Was there a vote? I was gonna say who was this person that decided the name for the entire planet?
Well, I think that some of that stuff's pretty old, so it was just kind of like.
I don't believe that they named it Earth necessarily. I think they were referring. I think so. What happened is probably like they had to start referring to like the place in which we exist, and perhaps like in kind of an all-encompassing way, they referred to like the ground, and that just became the name of our planet. Like I think it was Earth as in dirt first, and then like upon this Earth that I stand.
That's what intuitively felt right to me, but now I question it. But also, we don't all collectively call Earth because languages.
No, that is true. That is
just we call it Earth.
What do other people call it?
I don't know. It always fucked with me to find out that like country names aren't even what we call them.
I know. I believe that like the country itself should really be able to dictate what every other country calls it. You really think that if they decide to name their country something, everyone else should just respect that and not make up new names?
Yeah, like we
for the
call
same
places
country.
like Greenland and stuff like that when like those countries like don't have those words.
Pretty rude.
Or just the trip of Nippon, and I'm like, what?
That's not even close.
Whoa.
To Japan. Like,
whoa.
How did we get Japan from this? Like,
yeah. But as I noticed when I first arrived, it's nearly identical to Latin back on Earth. This makes it fairly easy to pick up, considering I studied some Latin back in school, and I learned a good deal of Italian before my trip. Amicus thinks it's a bit odd I want to learn, considering I have the lingua. And while I've become used to life in what's basically a dubbed film, I can't help but feel like it's a filter of some kind. I'd like to get past that, and hear Amicus and the others as they are. That just raises the question of whether you can turn it off.
Well, can you turn it off? Will you ever be able to make the sounds that the wolves make, because their anatomy is going to be different than yours, and I don't think you can make the barks and howls and grunts that a wolf would make, so even if you try to communicate
because they're
them.
speaking Latin, basically.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You might have trouble singing, but which doesn't translate. But they apparently just speak Latin, just with weird face shapes, and they just make it work.
Yeah, but I guess their wolf faces probably would make that a little bit tricky.
With furries, we just accept that they can speak somehow with very different faces, and it just works somehow.
I wonder if the lingua would work back on Earth if we just went to a different country.
Yeah. No. Not yet, at least. Because the languages have to be in the codex or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yes, that would make sense.
Because when we got here, although it might still auto-translate.
If they're speaking Latin here, then if you went back to Italy.
Yeah, that too. But I am remembering now, though, that it did auto-translate Marco's English. It's just
it did, didn't it?
It was just like uncomfortable. Like it was like struggling to do so everyone hated talking to him, and he was making it worse by talking like an idiot. So everyone would it was like a dog repellent effect. But the idea of dogs speaking is weird because they don't even have like lips as we understand them. There's like a lot of fundamental changes that would be strange about this whole thing. So you just shut up, it's a cartoon. It's really, speaking of cartoon, I've drawn Amicus, and it really fucked with me to realize he has 4 fingers.
Oh.
He has giant, bulgy sausage fingers, and they're really ovally. They're a trip when you just focus on them directly. If you look at him and Neferu, or like Neferu does like that pointing gesture he does, and so on, it's like when you look at their hands, they have like super fat, bulgy oval fingers, and there's only like 3 fingers and a thumb. It's a trip.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It is weird for me I'm thinking about that now. It is weird to picture and kind of funky.
It's all super, like it's a really coherent art style. It works really well. But when you fix out on that specific detail, you're like, My brain's breaking a little bit.
Amicus was messing with the Yakuza.
I'm not... every wolf was actually exiled from the Yakuza collectively. I'd like to get past that. Hear Amicus and others as they are.
I like to get past thinking about his weird hands.
And if I'm going to spend most of my life here, I've already started taking the supplements to extend my lifespan, which means I could be alive for a lot longer than I'd ever imagined. Though, Felix says that, at most, I might get an extra 100 years out of the treatment, rather than the 200 or so that the wolves get, because I started taking them when I was already an adult. Still, it's a lot. And while I'm sure most people on Earth would be desperate for this supplement, I strangely feel a bit exhausted by the idea. Living 150 to 200 years really changes one's perspective on time. Maybe that's one of the factors that makes it seem like the days are going by so fast. The worst part about it is that I don't get to spend very much of it with Amicus. It's something I'd expected, anticipated even. But I can't help but feel a little depressed that I only see him for a second in the morning when he kisses me goodbye, and then late in the night to have dinner with me, exhausted by his Imperial duties. While Cassius mainly lounged around during his short rule, I also know now that Kata was doing nearly all the work behind the scenes. And while Virginia would be more than happy to do the same, Amicus isn't the type to be lazy like that. Speaking of which, it's not just Amicus. While his absence would be bearable if I had at least someone to talk to that isn't calm, everyone else seems to have become just as busy. Nufero, my only real friend on this moon aside from Amicus, is usually off doing some diplomatic stuff in the city, his mission to secure an alliance now fully in motion. Virginia is always by Amicus's side, especially now that the populace has grown used to the idea of a woman in a chief advisor role.
Yeah, damn it.
And while I've never really connected with her, it would still be nice to have some kind of company. I mean, even Cassius would be a welcome distraction, but the White Wolf left a few months back to tour the more impoverished regions of Adastra, so that resources might be better allocated. And it also turns out that he left with my former best Adastran friend, Alexios. Cassius left us all somewhat stunned when he did this, doing important social work with a known spy and saboteur, one that could be blamed for a lot of damage to Adastran society, is by his side.
Aw.
Seems like a bad call.
He's blinded by the love.
Not great for appearances.
Well, I mean, we never leaked that information, right? Yeah, we never. The
oh yeah,
society doesn't.
No one knows what Alexios did, huh?
Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah. Look at this nighttime version of this room with the prim lighting and stuff.
Beautiful.
Amicus was adamant on deporting Alexios on the first ship back to Amorpha, but Cassius talked with him, and I guess he'd been convincing.
But brother, I love him.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Amicus simply set a few guards to keep a close eye on Alex. When I'd asked about this, Amicus only told me that the cat is powerless now, unable to connect with his homeworld due to all the communication with Amorpha being blocked after the scandal. One that involved many more actors than just Alex. It doesn't sit right with me, though, the idea that Alex caused so much pain for so many people, yet he's facing no consequences.
That happens a lot.
Yep. Welcome to this world. Sure, I'd made that deal with him to free Amicus, but he really shouldn't still be here. I already know, though, that this has more to do with Cassius' relationship with the cat, and I don't doubt that the White Wolf had compared their situation to ours so that he could better convince Amicus.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Even if it was incomparable. So now, even Alex has something to do, a role to fill, and I'm the one that's left feeling useless and alone in the palace. While I know I'll have a special position once I start my own mission, I'm supposed to keep a low profile until then. The only job I have right now, over the course of the entire 9 months, is to decide whether or not I'm going to play the role the parents want me to. And while that's well and good, as it's a decision that will affect the rest of my life. I also sort of expect to be given more information over the course of my waiting period. But no, infinite space remains quiet, and the monitor isn't breaking in through my consciousness to give me tips on what to expect. So I'm pulling the endless weeds in the gardens, waiting, wondering, as unsure of my future as I've ever been. I wonder why 9 months? Like, if it's just based on a specific timing of, like, how much Amicus needs to get done before I leave, or, like, a specific thing's gonna happen, like, back on Earth at that time. Like, it's, like, the perfect time to strike for some reason. I don't know. I feel like it's, like, the 1 year mark, maybe?
Maybe. And 9 months is, like, an odd amount of time.
Or if they've decided that, like... Oops. Ooh, what button was that?
Oh, what'd you do?
Oh, Y makes the background disappear.
Oh, that's good. That's good for looking at dicks.
I was gonna say.
That's definitely what that's for.
I mean, it is noticeable that that's just where they are always, like, perfectly covered by the text box.
It's just like it's the unfortunate aspect of having a text box and the ratio of where the characters need to stand for them. They're like basically 3/4, like, you know, like standing. So it's like that's where their dick's gonna be. But I like that they have the option to get rid of that for your viewing pleasure.
I just wonder what the fuck the parents are up to. They're like, 9 months is the exact amount of bonding time that we can spend, whether we need for Amicus and Marcos to spend together, and then they'll be extra devastated when they have to split up, and they'll definitely commit to the mission at the only hope of ever seeing each other again.
Yeah, we have calculated the the perfect amount of bonding time amongst a couple.
Yeah, like if we give them more time, Marco won't leave at all, and we give them less time,
they'll get sick of each other. And
if we give them less time, they'll get over each other.
Yeah,
because they weren't around for long enough. Or it's like 9 months is just enough time for avian flu to resurge in Marco and and devastate the human population.
Yeah, we've implanted a virus in Marco's body that we're hoping to, like.
They did. I mean, he has. It was avian pox, right?
Yeah.
Pox is a bad word, isn't that? Yeah. The kinds of diseases like that come back again.
I mean, human beings are susceptible to types of poxes. I'm trying
to think of how chickenpox works, because this is like a super chickenpox, right?
So yeah, chickenpox is bad. I mean, if you get chickenpox, you are not likely to get chickenpox again, but you can get shingles as an adult, which is why doing that thing where you get chickenpox on purpose is actually a really bad idea, because you can only get shingles, I think, if you've had chickenpox.
Isn't the chickenpox thing supposed to be that it's like good to get it when you're young too, and it's much worse when you're older, or is that nothing?
I think when you're a kid, your mom can like tape oven-mitts to your hands, and so it's easier to get it when you're younger because your immune system is better. But if you get chickenpox as an old person, you'll get shingles, and that really is painful and it's awful. And when you're older, it could be much worse for you because your immune system's gonna be bad with that. So it's just devastating to have happen to you. It's really good to just avoid the whole thing and just get vaccinated like a smart person. Just don't get either of those two things.
I super don't trust thinking about the avian pox now, and I'm just like, with how much stuff that they do on purpose, like how they modified the records to send Amicus on this mission and everything, and I'm like, it might not, like, what if it wasn't Alex that specifically, because I think we suspected before that Alex might have been the one that like contrived the situation to try to assassinate us with the avian pox.
Well, I mean, he just reacted funny. I mean, but I don't know how he would have done that, because it seems like that was a environmental, like, it seems like that's just something you get from.
Because we just confirmed in the last text page that there were other cats working with him in the city. Yeah,
but I mean, how would they? Like, you can't really give a person. I mean, I guess you could do like smallpox blankets or something.
Well, I mean, the kid gave it to us, and she approached us. I was like, what if she was told to? Ooh.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't like say that outright. They don't. It's not as if the kid itself had avian pox. It just had like mange, which I don't think those were like the same thing.
I thought the kid did have avian pox. That was my takeaway, because we specifically encountered someone that seemed sick, and then we almost died shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I for some reason it didn't like. I thought the kid was just like malnourished and like basically like a street urchin, and just looked like it was just generally ill.
Yeah, like it's left ambiguous that it could be just a health problem.
But I mean,
But given the timing of when things go, I figured that the kid had a sickness that they spread to us, and then it was much worse for us.
yeah. No, I think I like that they actually do touch on that whole being in a different environment. Because honestly, even just human beings, you travel to like just a different country, and you can get super sick. You have to take like those pills so that way you don't get like stomach issues when you go other places.
Yeah, they talked about there's an entire vaccine cocktail that people take whenever they travel, but because of the strange way that we immigrated, that entire process was skipped over, and they might not even have anything prepared for us anyway. Uh-oh. That went badly. Marco. I crack open my eyes, seeing the large silhouette of Amicus in the dimmed lighting of the bedroom. Good morning. I smile and reach out my hands, expecting the usual hug and kiss before he's off for the day.
Oh, what a little baby.
Instead, though, he sits on the bed next to me, running a paw through my hair gently, pushing it back away from my forehead. Your fur is a mess. I mean, I did just wake up. It's cute. Amicus continues to brush his fingers and claws through my hair. I watched him for a moment, a bit confused. You alright? Very much so. I look over at the curtains, seeing the soft light of dawn creeping around the edges. Don't you have to go to the city? Nope. Okay. Do you have the day off? You're acting a little odd. Ah, so you don't know. Know what? And an irrational part of me begins to wonder if the 9 months is already up. Even though the last time I'd calculated it out, I'd still had 4 months left. I'm honestly glad you don't. I was hoping to surprise you. I close my eyes in only the slightest amount of frustration. Amicus, please tell me. You know I don't like... I heard rustling from the wolf in front of me, and I opened my eyes to the sight of a bouquet of flowers being held out to me. Like last time, it's dominated by lavender and its smell surrounds me, a smell that my brain has exclusively tied to my wolf. Meanwhile, white and pink flowers along the edges complement the purple. I stare at it in surprise, unsure what to think or say. Amicus fills the silence. Happy Lover's Day, Marco.
Aww.
The wolf continues to hold out the bouquet insistently, so I finally reach up and take it, noticing that it looks much nicer this time versus Amicus's first bouquet. Oh. Thank you. You're welcome. That goofy
Look
fucking
how happy
face.
he is.
I sit there holding the bouquet awkwardly for a few seconds, noticing the stems dripping slightly on the blanket, so I hold them out over the edge. So, is this, some kind of Adastran holiday? Indeed. To celebrate those who you love and cherish. And for me, that is you, Marco. I love you. Though I'm still feeling a bit dazed at the unexpectedness of it all, I managed to smile. You too, Amicus. I kind of wish I'd known. I didn't get you anything. Amicus waves his paw dismissively in the air. The flowers are simply a human touch that I knew you'd appreciate. Besides, this isn't a gift-giving occasion. It's a go out and enjoy yourself occasion. The correct kind. Gifts are stupid. Amicus stands suddenly, reaching out his paw to me. Come. I have the entire day planned out, just you and I. No triumvirs, diplomats, or advisors to bother us. I take his paw, smiling as I realize how this has seemingly come just in time for me. I've been feeling so lonely and bored in the palace. This is exactly what I need. I hold the flowers to my chest, smelling them, not caring anymore that they're all wet. What do you have planned? Ah, that's also a surprise. I'd like to leave it I leave in the next few minutes, though, so get dressed, and don't worry about showering. Alright. I move toward the dresser and grab my robes, but as I'm doing so, there's a loud knock at the door. Goodbye, music.
Oh no.
Immediately. Amicus's cheery mood drops for a moment as he lets out a frustrated sigh. Calm, who's at my door?
Neferu is at your bedroom door, Amicus.
Amicus closes his eyes for a second, then opens them again, smiling at me. One moment. Probably just wants to wish us a good Lover's Day. Or something.
Or he's coming back to be your lover again.
It's not a happy face. It's also, yeah, like the last person he wants to see this exact day is probably Neferu.
Yeah. Neferu's actually at the door with flowers.
Amicus strides over to the door while I quickly pull out a clean robe, pulling it over my body as the door opens. Neferu, did you need something?
Hello, Amicus, and Ahotep be with you, Marco.
Neferu pokes his head around Amicus's bulk, which the wolf is clearly trying to use to shield me from view, even though I'm already in the process of tying my robe on. Ahotep be with you. I mumble back, nodding in the jackal's direction. What is it you need? Well,
You are needed by the council. The Chemian ambassador and vizier arrived an hour ago, and they requested we begin our meeting at once.
What? No. Amicus lets out a groan of frustration, leaning his head back and tilting his muzzle toward the ceiling.
Didn't Calm notify you? I've been waiting in the carriage for 15 minutes. Virginia's already there.
No plan ever works.
That sucks.
Jesus Christ.
This makes me so bummed for them. I'm vicariously bummed.
We were trying to get vicariously bummed.
It's not the kind of bum I was after.
So fucking stupid. Neferu leans sideways slightly to look at me again.
Am I interrupting something?
Literally always.
Yeah.
It's Lover's Day. I cleared my schedule weeks in advance for this.
Oh, it is? Well, I suppose I would have no reason to know,
Neferu winks.
Anyway, you know how poorly schedules match up when the stretch drive is used. Simply bad luck.
Bad luck indeed.
I'm so upset. Because I wanted to go on the cool date with Amicus.
All the while, I feel the slight sinking sensation of disappointment. I can't really say I've been looking forward to this, considering I didn't even know it was a thing. But in the couple of minutes I knew about it, I was really looking forward to it.
Do you remember in Life is Strange, when that one guy keeps inviting you to the Go Ape...
Yeah.
Go watch the Planet of the Apes.
And you never go ape.
Yeah, dude, he's like, we're gonna go ape at the Planet of the Apes like movie marathon at this place, and it sounds so fucking fun. And I was playing that game, and I was looking forward to being able to go to that place, and it never fucking happens. The world fucking ends.
Like, I know everyone obsessively wants Max and Chloe to get together, but like, I want them to go ape.
I don't even remember. Well, I don't remember that kid's name.
Warren.
I felt really bad for him. I was like kind of rooting for him because he definitely was not going to be the person that gets picked.
He's so overtly is screwed the entire time.
But I really wanted to go on the date with him just because I wanted to go ape. I feel like this now. This is how I feel right now.
Yeah. Amicus turns then, gaze softening as he spots me standing in my disheveled, half-tied-on robe. I shrug in what I hope looks like a nonchalant manner. It's alright. I understand. We can do something any other time. Marco. I suppose I'm not doing a very good job of not looking just a little bit upset. I mean, I'm happy with just this. I picked up the bouquet of flowers I'd set on the dresser, inhaling the scent again. The fact that you did all this in the first place means a lot to me. Amicus goes on frowning at me, clearly not buying it. Then he snarls. Fuck! Neferu raises a brow.
Poor language for an emperor, Amicus.
Amicus ignores the jackal, keeping his eyes on me. This is the only meeting I'll have all day. It shouldn't last too long, and then we'll still be able to do most of what I planned.
I don't believe you. I wouldn't plan on that. This is a very important...
I know, Jackal. I was like, what are you saying?
Jackass.
Yeah. I know, Neferu, but it won't last all day. Anyway, Marco, come with me. That way, as soon as the meeting is finished, we can immediately go to our private dinner.
You're bringing Marco? Didn't you say we should be keeping his profile low?
It's Lover's Day. No one will be at the university. I raise my hands. I don't want to cause any problems. I can just wait for you here. You are causing no problems. You will be accompanying me to the city. As my lover, you should be at my side during Lover's Day. If you so choose. That fucking face. At this point, anything sounds better than staying in the palace, so the decision's pretty easy. Alright. Yeah, let's go. Amicus looks somewhat relieved, letting out a breath before reaching out to take my hand, walking us into the hallway while Neferu follows behind. I promise it'll be quick, and I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just hard to... Amicus seems to struggle to find his words. I understand. You're the Emperor. Besides, it's not fair for me to be upset when my boyfriend's spending more time on his Emperor duties than me. I would understand if you were. I just hope it won't be like this forever. It won't be. We're simply at a turning point in Adastran history. When you return, and when everything settles, we will have much more time to ourselves. My stomach lurches slightly at being reminded that I have my own job to do, one that I'm not looking forward to. I glance back at Neferu, wondering if he should be hearing any of this, but the jackal seems to be not paying attention to anything, his expression distant as his lips move silently. It looks like he's reciting something. I look forward again, leaning against Amicus as we head outside toward the carriage. I already started feeling a lot better as our mechanical carriage creaks through the forest, the peaceful, eerie green calming any irritation I might have felt about the whole situation. Amicus has pulled me against his right side, fitting me in that familiar way as I rest my head against his shoulder. To Amicus's left, Neferu sits with his legs crossed, an elbow on his knee, and his chin on his paw. I notice Neferu and Amicus not attempting to make conversation with each other, not even glancing at one another. I think it's pretty clear at this point that Amicus and Neferu just don't really mesh well. Their personality is too different.
I mean, they screwed around pretty good, though.
I wanted to yell at them at this point when I first played this game. I'm just like, fucking, you guys are both the only reason the other one's alive right now.
I know, you think
like,
that they would be more friendly.
Yeah, I want Marco to just shake them, because I'm just like, there's like this thing where like, I'm about to be gone for years. Like, the only reason you guys got through this is each other. You need to, like, do better than this.
You need to be friends.
Yeah. Which I guess is fine, as long as they're not fighting anymore. Neferu seems to have stopped his silent chanting, so I take the opportunity to ask him a question, leaning forward to look around Amicus's front. So what's going on with this Chemian ambassador and, the other thing you mentioned? If you can tell me, that is. The jackal glances at me before shifting into a position that more directly faces me.
The vizier? He's the highest official serving under the pharaoh. As for the ambassador, Adastra hasn't had a Chemian ambassador since the war.
Amicus grunts. I'll point out that Chemia was the first to expel the ambassador. Neferu maintains a straight face.
And we are the first to re-establish one.
As it should go. Well, that's good. I talk a little louder than usual, trying to stop an argument before it can happen. So, are they going to establish an alliance? Yes. Along with smoothing over Adastra-Chemia relations in general, the ambassador will be here for the long term. The vizier... Amicus glances at Neferu, but the jackal simply leans back, looking out at the forest again. The vizier...
The vizier will depart back to Chemia within a week, which is why negotiations must begin at once.
And you said this is taking place at a university? Yes. There are a few Chemia experts there, and I suppose Chemians find places of learning more comfortable to negotiate in. Amicus glances at Neferu in confirmation.
I believe it has more to do with Adastra and Academia being a more friendly entity compared to the political departments or palace.
Amicus smirks. Indeed, the last bastion of the chemophiles. Neferu rolls his eyes before they settle on me again.
Oh, and remember our conversation about the other? This university is famous for supposedly being absolutely infested.
I raise an eyebrow. So it's haunted. Amicus frowns. Are you serious? Have you been filling his head with the ghost stories of students, Neferu?
I have.
Don't worry, I don't really believe it. I lean back against Amicus, deciding that we can't really have a conversation without the two canines butting heads. The university is in a secluded area outside the city, mostly surrounded by forest. The gardens and paths are well taken care of, and it reminds me of a more classical-looking version of the palace. Amicus was right. I don't see a single person on the campus. Our carriage rides up the main path of the largest-looking building that's front and center. We park in front of the building next to a few small aircraft before getting out and heading inside. New location!
Beautiful statues.
You didn't think there'd still be new places to go to. That's... Okay, so are these all references? I'm pretty sure I recognize the one on the right. Like the discus throw looking thing.
I mean, that is definitely an actual sculpture.
Yeah.
I'm sure these are.
Yeah, that one seems pretty explicit. Well, we'll find out. We'll see more of this place next time.
Yep.